Most Minecraft worlds don't feel empty because they lack builds. They feel empty because nothing seems to happen there. No movement, no purpose, no sense that life ever passed through. And so today, I want to show you 10 builds that quietly change that. Builds that make a Minecraft world feel lived in, even when no one's around. Now, every lived-in world starts with the land itself. In my forever world, you'll see here that we have a custom river. And in my personal opinion, having these sorts of landforms gives that extra flow to your world. You see, rivers and water always have that element of motion and flow to them. And so you can see as the water flows down, it gives that extra movement to the world. Rivers can also explain why settlements happen to exist in the way that they have. So here in the Forever world, you can see that it really gives that extra shape to the terrain. The way that rivers cut into the terrain explains why settlements exist in the way that they do. It gives extra reasons to have little things like the bridge that we have here that we can walk over. We all know that Minecraft is a pretty static game, but water and rivers are one of the best ways to spice all of that up. We actually happen to have another river right over here, but you can see that it's being invaded by pillagers at the moment, so give me one moment. A river can also tell you where life happened to have started. I once learned when I was in social studies class that rivers are destiny, and so the idea behind this is that all of this civilization ended up coming from the water melting off of the snow peaks here in this world. These water features can really tell the story of how life settled around an area, and once life settles somewhere, it needs a way to move through it. Builds like massive tunnels that go through a mountainside are a great way to add that extra life to your world. You can see that we've definitely gone all out in our Forever world with a beautiful diorite sort of texture palette. And this is a very big build, don't get me wrong. However, I will say that the air in a tunnel like this is impeccable. It really gives that energy of grandeur and just majesty. And better yet, tunnels really help your world feel lived in because tunnels do not exist by accident. Something as big and monstrous as this build right here implies effort and it implies time. And on top of that, a tunnel gives an extra reason for two places to connect with one another. Massive tunnels like this and even smaller ones tell you that this world did not exist by accident, but was built with energy and intention. However, eventually in your Minecraft world, you're gonna have so many builds that are so far apart that walking becomes too much, which is where we can talk about our next form of transport, a monorail. And you will see that we do have one here behind me in the Forever world, but I like the one that we have on the Lotus SMP. So let's head over to a new world very quickly. As we make our way to the beautiful Kingdom of Solith here on the Lotus SMP, you'll notice that behind me we have a very massive monorail. Adding elements of transportation in Minecraft can instantly change the vibe and feel of your world. You see, a monorail suggests routine, daily movement, purpose for getting from one place to another. Now, your build does not have to be nearly as big as mine, but having a transportation system like this really turns your isolated builds into a connected system. Transportation means that people had places that they needed to be, not just places that they wanted to admire. And if you happen to play with other people just like me, doing something together like this can really transform your world. As you can see, adding these little elements of movement to your world can completely transform how it feels lived in. However, once movement exists in your world, there also must be a reason that makes it worth staying for, which once again leads us to our next build. Now, I do know that pretty much all of these YouTube videos that are suggesting different types of builds that you should put in your Minecraft world, they always include a windmill. And so don't get me wrong, I am definitely aware of that, but I do think that having a windmill is an essential build for your world. As you can see, although this windmill does not move, it still gives that element of movement to your world. And to me, in an even better way, having a windmill and farming area also gives an employment to the people of the land. I think that when you're thinking about how to add life to the world, think about how would people actually live in this land. And so inevitably, the people are going to need systems of survival. As you can see, we have tons and tons of cropland in this area. It's incredibly fertile, and so having this idea of the windmill and having this farming district of the world really gives that extra element of life. Windmills suggest architecture, planning, and long-term survival. And even if the sky is still, it still implies that it's turning. Now, this is not officially on the list, but I did want to just kind of mention, I also have a little generator build right here, where you can see that we have a turbine that's turning the water around. And again, just adding that extra bit of life and that movement can really bring your world together. But speaking of building systems, one of my favorite builds that we have here in this world is our bank. The moment you open a bank in your world changes. You see, a bank implies value, trade, and trust. We can head inside here and you can see that ours is called the Gold and Glory Treasury, but having a bank suggests decisions that are greater than survival. This world seems to exist for more than one player now, although it's only me that plays in this world, and I think that makes it so fun. Once I built this in the Forever world, the world stopped feeling mine. It started feeling shared. Having builds like this suggests other empires that could be out in the horizon somewhere, and it also implies that people will come back and stop by the world from time to time. Another great way to add that life is by adding your friends and subscribers into the world. As you can see right here in the Forever world, we have Etat's village right here, and I love this cozy little cabin. Every single time I walk past it, it makes me think of him. And that concept applies to tons of the cottages that you'll see behind me, and tons of other kingdoms. I also do the same thing too. Which, speaking of other ways of having visitors add that extra bit of life to your world, I say let's head to a new kingdom. An official welcome to my Desert Forever world. This is another region of the Forever world that we have, just a new location in the world, and we have tons and tons of really cool builds all over here, but we're going to specifically talk about this one right here. You see, this build is an albergue, also known as a hostel. And for those of you that don't know what a hostel is, well, it's kind of like a cheaper hotel where you can share beds with other people. I happened to be a pilgrim traveling across Spain throughout the summer, and so I decided that I wanted to make an albergue into this world. Now, once again, the idea is that visitors of this world can come and spend the night here. And with the sun setting in the distance, you can see that it's actually the perfect time to do that. So we can head inside and you'll see that we have a couple of different bunk rooms right here. And you can just see that it gives that extra homeliness to the world. You see, not everyone in the world is meant to stay. Travelers will come and go. And better yet, having a place for traveler kind of implies destinations that you can't see and stories that exist on other parts of the map. You see, not every build in your world has to be functional. It's worth thinking about things and places that you can build that you would enjoy, because chances are that if you like what you're building, then probably the people of your world will too. Now, speaking about places to enjoy and just for the aesthetics, this may be my favorite build that I've ever made, and the reality here is that it's really nothing special. It's just a recreational park with a couple of pathways that you can walk down. You'll also notice that we have a little fishing pond area just so that you can go and catch some fish and enjoy the afternoon. As you can see, this path is incredibly dense, and I love the pillars that we have going up into the sky. They're almost as if they're honoring the gods of the world. You can see that it's pretty easy to get lost around here, but I love that vibe, and it's so nice just to enjoy the aesthetic of the area as it looks upon the kingdom that we have here. You see, a park doesn't help you survive, and that's exactly why it matters. Recreational spaces like this imply safety and leisure and rest. You see, only safe worlds have places where nothing needs to happen, and that's the whole vibe that we're going with here. However, once a world feels safe, people start looking outward, which brings us to our next build over here. You see, a sailboat is a safe promise of elsewhere. It implies trade routes, exploration, even connections that you cannot see. A docked boat could also feel like someone hasn't returned yet. Ultimately, it tells you that this world here is not isolated, but it exists as a part of something larger. And finally, once you have a safe lived-in world, when people are coming and going, that is when time starts to matter. I do want to show you that we have my favorite clock tower up here on the mountainside, and I love this build. It's absolutely beautiful, but we do have another one on Lotus, so I do think that I'll show you that one real quick too. As the sun begins to set over here, you can see that we have our second clock tower in the world. Now, you will have to forgive me because as you can see over in this direction, we still have plenty of more work to do to fit in the train. However, you can see that a clock tower, or really any sort of tower, anchors the skyline. A clock tower implies a world that moves forward together. You see, when a world keeps time, it stops feeling frozen, and once time passes, people adapt to it. Now, I do recognize that I get to play with tons of other people online, so I have plenty of other build inspiration to take from here. But I did want to show you this festive build that I ended up making for the holiday season. You see, seasonal builds are one of the strongest signals of life. A winter cabin suggests change and preparation. It also gives off the idea of a world that exists year-round. Now, you may not always come back to your festive part of the world, but When you do, it makes the world feel old and lived in. Making builds like this from time to time makes you want to come back to the world in the best way possible. And I do think that building to show off and celebrate the change in seasons is always a good thing. A lived-in world is not defined by how big it is. The reality is that it's defined by what it implies, and whether that be movement, work, rest, or time, there's so many different ways that you can add life to your Minecraft world. If you've enjoyed this video and you got some valuable information from it, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you'd like to hear some more tips from me, consider taking a look at this video right here.